Sir Walter Scott's two oldest friends both lived and died in Albany Street. One was William Erskine, who moved into the newly built number 11 with his wife Euphemia in 1806. They had 9 children, although only 3 survived. Erskine and Scott met when they were both young advocates, and Erskine continued as an advocate and later a judge. Erskine was an outstanding classical scholar and assisted Scott in his exploration of German drama and romance. In 1796, Erskine arranged for Scott's earliest literary venture, a translation of 2 poems by Gottfried August Burger, to be published, and later for Scott's translation of Leonore to appear. As Walter Scott began to develop his great career, the only 2 people he entrusted with proofing his writings for detection of minor inaccuracies were Erskine and James Ballantyne, his printer, who also lived for a number of years in Albany Street. The great writer dedicated his poem Marmion Introduction to the Canto Third to Erskine, whom he described as the nearest and most confidential of all my Edinburgh associates. Sadly, Erskine's wife Euphemia died in 1819, and her death affected Erskine deeply. To try to ease his dejection, Scott helped arrange for Erskine to be promoted to be a judge and given the title of Lord Kinneder. However, within months of his elevation, Erskine was immersed in a scandal. It was asserted that he had had an improper liaison with Mrs. Burt, the wife of an apothecary and a well-known prostitute. Being still in mourning for his wife, the stress of this allegation, although apparently groundless, plunged Erskine into deep depression, and he succumbed to fever and delirium and died at number 11 in August 1822. Although Erskine's final weeks coincided with Sir Walter Scott's hectic organising of the royal pageantry for the visit of King George IV, Scott still managed to visit Albany Street every day to see his ailing friend. And even though Erskine's funeral had to take place the very day the King arrived in Edinburgh, Scott slipped away from the royal visit festivities to see his friend buried. If ever a pure spirit quitted this vale of tears, it was William Erskine's, Scott later wrote.